Hello, Christmas Flicksers. Welcome back to season 7 of Chicks on Christmas Flicks, where we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. I'm KL Brady, and I'm back, and I'm so happy to be back. Ha ha ha. So, you probably thought that I wasn't going to come back before Christmas in July, but guess what? I'm here. So, we have a lot to talk about today because, of course, Christmas in July begins next weekend. However, I really wanted to share some of the things I've learned on my decluttering journey. And so the first thing I wanted to share was about my planner. I don't know about you guys, but the planner is it's like a thing for me every single year. I spend weeks shopping for a planner, and I buy a planner. I usually spare no expense, and I do all the pre-work in the planner. You know how they ask you to list out all your hopes, wishes, and dreams in the beginning of the planner, so that you have your kind of North Star direction goals or whatever for the planner as you go through the year. And so I do all of that. I put all that stuff in my planner, do all the pre-stuff anyway. But then, honest to goodness, after maybe the first 2 months, 3 months, the planner goes out the window. I maybe get 2 to 3 months of serious use out of my planners, and then they are blank for the rest of the year. And yet, every January, I go on the hunt, or every December, Christmas time, maybe early January, I go on the hunt for a new planner. And I was like, there has got to be a better way to go about this. So if you are like me, where you have the intention of using the planner, but sometimes life's, you guys know how crazy my schedule is, and how many things I have going on. So I'm not just able to keep up with the planner. It's just like the planner, in terms of priority, it dives in priority pretty much, after the first few months. So here's what I started doing this year. I went on the hunt for a planner, and she runs this site called This Crazy Life. And so anyway, she recommended the Erin Condren planner this year. So I said, okay, fine. Erin Condren it is. When I looked at it, I went online, I shopped, I went on Amazon, I shopped. But actually it was, I could get it personalized with my name and everything on it if I ordered it off of the regular site. And I think it was about the same price. I don't think there was a drastic difference in the price where I would have been like, no, I got to get it, on sale from Amazon. So I actually ended up ordering it from the site. I got it personalized with my name on it. And I started using that planner, but here is the difference. I started using it completely different. And honest to goodness, even up until just before I signed on to do this show, I have been using the planner, and it is June. I've gotten more use out of this planner than I've ever gotten before, and I'm going to tell you how and why. So that if you're a planner person, or that you want to be a planner person but you don't end up using the planner, maybe this is a way that you can consider using it. So what I use my planner for. So every week, I guess at the beginning of the week, so really Sunday, I sit down and I think about all the tasks that I have to complete for the week. And that, it could be work tasks, it could be, projects around the house, whatever. I will write all those out for the week. And so what they are, instead of using them to guide every single day, you wake up at 6, I'm up at 4 every morning. And So I was trying to, uh, you know, do a routine every morning, something that would, help me be productive and stuff like this. But you know what? I realized that I am in a season of just resting. I have never rested. I have never rested in my entire life. Never. I've never. There's never been a time where I've just laid still and not thought of the 25 things that I could be doing, but instead I'm lying down and resting. I've never been a rester. So in this season, my my body, my mind, everything, my spirit, everything is telling me, Carla, stop striving so much. Just just sit down. Sit your butt down and rest for a while. It's okay. I think after so many years, so many decades, you kind of prove that you're not lazy. I've proven I'm not a lazy person. I've done enough in my life to prove I'm not lazy, and I'm tired. So I have really just taken to getting rest. But what I do, since I have prioritized rest, there are a few things that I prioritize. One thing I prioritize is like reading my devotionals and the Bible every single day. That is a priority. Like, I feel like if I do that and if I start my day off with that, like, it puts me in the mind, it gives me the mindset that I need to like be positive for the rest of the day, especially given challenges at work, which we are all familiar with, right? So, reading is one thing that I do reading my Bible every day, devotional every day, not without fail. I try. It's definitely on my list. I would definitely say I'm good for probably 5 or 6 days a week. I might miss one day, but pretty much 5 or 6 days a week with ease, because it's not something I have to do. It's actually something I want to do. And it's something I know that makes me a better person for the people that I have to work with, right? That and coffee. so, see, Bible and coffee. I have to have my caffeine, and that makes me a nice person too. So I do Bible reading. I clean something. I'm trying to get a cleaning routine. So I make sure that I do vacuuming or dusting or, whatever task needs to be done, straightening up, tidy up, whatever. Since I've done my decluttering and gotten things in order, honest to goodness, it's just so much easier to keep the house clean and to, if things get out of order, to quickly tidy things up and put things back where they belong. Like, everything has a home now, so I can always put things back and get the house in order pretty quickly. I make sure that I cook multiple times a week instead of going out and ordering DoorDash or Uber Eats. So I wanted to do that to, just stop spending money willy-nilly, and to actually cook more at home, cook healthier meals where I know all the ingredients are going into it. So I do that more often. What else is writing, of course, is on my list. So I'm trying to finish this Christmas book that I'm working on. So I'm excited for that. Self-care. That is something I've been trying to do a little more. So self-care for me, it could be my facial routine. I've got all these I want to be a person who does a facial routine like nightly and every day. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes I'm just tired and I really just don't want to baby my face or see my face. This is how I use my list. So I have my list of to-dos, of things that I would like to get done. But they don't drive my day daily. What I do is I get up. I know I have to go to work. I know I read my Bible and all of that kind of stuff. But I just kind of go with where my mind is that day. So some days that may be waking up and it may be exercising. Some days it may be waking up and doom scrolling for a little bit, and maybe reading or whatever, doing some writing for a little bit, and then going downstairs to work. whatever it is, I'm just trying to go through my feelings that day. I stopped forcing myself to be productive. That's off the table for right now. However, if there comes a point in my day where I do have kind of like a lull in my schedule, where I do have the energy to do a project, well then my I go to my planner to see what project that I could use to fill in that time. And then what I also use the big thing I use my planner for is for things I have accomplished. What I had found was that I would go through a month, weeks, and not, I know that I've done stuff, but I couldn't figure out what I had done. And, like, for instance, like house projects. So I'd be scrolling through my phone because I always take pictures of like kind of before and after pictures for me, for motivation and stuff. And I would go through the before and after pictures. And I was like, wow, I forgot I did that. I forgot I did that. I forgot I did that. I was like, well, these are the things that I need to remind myself that I'm not lazy and I do a lot. And I don't track the things that I have accomplished. I'm so busy trying to schedule these routines and all of this stuff that I don't actually track what I have done. So that's what I use the planner for. I use it to track what I have done versus to drive my schedule every day. And then, like I said, I list out things that I would like to get done. But if I don't get them done that week, guess what? I just roll those things over to the next week, and then maybe I will get them done in the next week. And things get done, onesie, twosies. It may not all get done the minute I think of it, but eventually it gets done. But to me, it's been a much more positive experience when I pick up the planner and that I can actually just look at the stuff that I have accomplished, the things that I have achieved, and the day that I have achieved them. For example, like when I decluttered my closet and I repainted the closet and the floorboards and all of that kind of stuff. I think I had like one entry in my planner, which was to renovate the closet or redecorate the closet or to clean out the closet or whatever. So I put that one thing on there, but as I accomplished all the little steps that it took to get the closet, completely renovated and have the closet system installed and all of that kind of stuff, then as I accomplished all those little steps, I just started writing down those little steps after I got them finished. So then when I look back at the closet project, I realized it wasn't just one day that one day that the closet was, a mess, a wreck after 20 years. And then, a week later it was clean. No, it was 1 week I had to, one day I had to take everything out of the closet and put it in the spare bedroom so that I could clean it out. And then I had to dump out like bags and bags and bags and bags of trash and stuff that was just really hidden in there that I had completely forgotten about, that I no longer needed. Clothes, I donated tons of clothes from my previous life that I will never wear again. Even if I could fit in them, which I can't. It's just not me anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm living a different life and doing different things. A lot of those clothes were from when, I worked for the government and I had to go to work in suits every day, every single day. Like even Fridays weren't really casual. They called it casual Friday. It wasn't really casual Friday. So, we were kind of business casual on Fridays. So, every day I was in a different suit. And then you've got to buy a bunch of suits because you can't be in the same suit every day. So I had a ton of suits that I wore for years, that I got rid of because I don't wear suits anymore for almost anything, right? Really, it's business casual where I work now, so I don't even need the same kind of clothes anymore. So I got rid of a lot of stuff. So I spent one day doing that. I got rid of shoes. I got rid of, and then I had to paint the whole closet, and then I had to put up the wallpaper, and I put up. Then I didn't realize how high my ceilings were. So I ended up using a lot more wallpaper than I thought. So then I had to order more wallpaper. I mean, it was just the whole thing. Well, as those weeks go by, and so you end up with this beautiful closet, and then you wonder, like, where did all your time go? And now I can look back and see where all my time went. When I accomplished the things that I really want to accomplish, in the house and for house projects or whatever, I have that. I have a record of that. And that's what the planner is good. So the planner has been wonderful for me to look back at my months and see what I've done with all my time and realize, man, even when I am not pushing myself every day, I am still super productive. I've still gotten so many things done. One day I will read out the list of things that I have finished for like the first quarter, right? But that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like I'm kind of looking at what are the things that you have achieved over the last 3 months, right? And then I can go back and look at that and kind of summarize my quarter, and I'm like, man, I'm still doing a lot. And I think it's been this way every year. It's just that I've never written it down, right? Because I was always like, oh, if I broke my routine, then I would quit using the planner. Well, now I don't have to quit using the planner because I broke my routine. Because I'm using the planner to really document the things that I've gotten finished. So if you're like me and you're planner challenged, right, and you have problems, like you go through the trouble of buying a planner every year, but you don't really get the use out of it that you like to get out of it. Well, here's a way to use it. Instead of using it to push you to make routines and make lists of things to drive your day, use it kind of like it's kind of like a diary, right? It's kind of like not what you need to do, but what you did. And that way you'll have a record of like all the things that you have achieved over the months and over the year. So that's my recommendation. Okay. So with that out of the way, I really have a lot to chat about this week. First of all, we've got Christmas in July coming next week. Next Friday, June 26th, we get Christmas in July. I'm so excited, guys. And I can tell you, like in February, I was not feeling like this about Christmas movies. I was really kind of done with Christmas movies. But, oh my gosh. Now, since I gave myself the Christmas movie hiatus, and I didn't watch them as much as I normally do. Let's put it that way. Because I cannot even front. I think I watched Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper probably 2 or 3 times. And then I watched Thank God Christmas at Keller Ranch once or twice. And I watched Deck the Halls from my time like once or twice. Champagne, I forget that movie on Netflix. I forget what it's called. Champagne something. I watched it probably once or twice. So I have not gone completely without Christmas movies, but certainly not to the extent that I would used to watch them, which is every day pretty much, to begin my day and to end my day. I use Christmas movies because they just keep me in such a good mood. So anyway, so I'm really excited about Christmas in July because I've not OD'd on Christmas movies all year. And then I'm going to, and look, we are going to preview day one of Christmas in July. I'm really excited about that. And then I'm going to start digging into 2026, the 2026 Christmas movie season with a few of the movies that are coming out next year, and or later this year. And then, in the episodes to come, I will talk more and more and more and more about the 2026 season. But today we are really going to cover Christmas in July and what are we watching day one of Christmas in July. I'm really excited to talk about that. So we'll get there in a minute, but first things first, Saint Nick shout out. As always, I love to begin the show with shout outs to listeners. It's one of my favorite traditions, you guys know. Can you believe I am 7 seasons in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons in. It was so funny. I forget what I was doing the other day. I think I was scrolling through my podcast platform, and I was just looking back at the old shows. I really need to do like throwback Thursdays for some of these older shows because they were really good and they were funny. They had some funny material. So I may start doing that on Thursdays. Keep an eye out on my Twitter. I'll probably push it out on my Twitter and on my Instagram. 7 years is absolutely crazy. I'm truly thankful to anyone who squeezes this podcast into their busy schedules or makes time for the show within their busy set schedules. Today, I'm going to give you the shorter version of St. Nick shoutouts. I am going to do the longer version starting in July for the July shows of Christmas in July. So I'm really excited. Remember, I don't know who you are, but I know where you live. Okay, so the first location is Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for joining the show. Next location is Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining the show. The third location is Schenectady, New York. Schenectady, New York. Now, I remember talking to you guys about the movie, which is now called Oh Christmas Tree, but it used to be Fur Crazy. And I thought that Fur Crazy was filmed or centered around Schenectady. It's really, now I don't know if I can say this. It's really centered around Skinny New York. I know I just totally butchered. I'm sorry, guys. Totally. I am so sorry. I have just butchered the name of that city, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're in New York, or probably, it's probably somewhere around Buffalo, somewhere in there, but it's Skinny-attalis, I think is how it's said. Anyway, that is where the movie is centered around. It is really not Schenectady, so I totally got but Schenectady, Skinny-attalis, okay, they don't really sound the same, but it felt the same. Anyway, so, but thank you, Schenectady, New York, for joining the show, and maybe somebody from Skinny-attalis will actually join the show and listen in, because Fur Crazy is absolutely one of it's a classic to me. That is definitely to me is a Christmas classic. And I really missed the show because they don't really show it anymore. I think they must have sold it because they renamed it. And I'm not sure what network picked it up. I don't know if it's Up TV. I don't know if it's Great American Christmas. I don't know where it is right now. So I guess we'll find out during the Christmas season. All right. The fourth location is Council Bluffs, Iowa. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Thank you so much for joining the show. And the fifth and final location for today is Singapore. Singapore. Thank you so much for joining the show, Singapore. Okay, now it's time for some ho 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 holiday headlines. Okay, there's so much news. I couldn't fit it all um, in today's episode, but I do have a few things that I wanted to talk about today, and of course, you'll probably get a drizzle of news over certainly over Christmas in July, and then in August and September and October, because I think Christmas, the TV movie Christmas season usually begins toward the end of October. So we really don't have like a really long time to go before we get into we actually get into the season. But I'm really excited about some of the news I have to talk about today. So the first thing is Christmas Con. Okay, so Christmas Con is coming, and so you know about Christmas Con, right? So you know how they had Comic Con, where they had like all the comic book stars or to show up and sign books and give presentations and take pictures and all of that kind of stuff. Well, we have Christmas Con now. Thank you. So I remember it may have gone back further, but I personally remember Christmas Con going back to the beginning of the pandemic. Is when I first really kind of became alert to Christmas Con going on. Anyway, so this year Christmas Con is in Edison, New Jersey. It's from December 11th to the 13th. I would really like to go to this. I don't know that I will this year. It's definitely a bucket list activity for me, but I don't know that I go this year, but I definitely would like to go. Anyway, so it's December 11th to the 13th, and coming this year, let me tell you something. I love this woman in Christmas movies, and she's been in a lot. I would say a lot of, probably more. She's been in a couple of Hallmark movies, but in terms of Christmas movies, I think she's been in more Lifetime movies than anything. Vivica A. Fox. Yes, Vivica A. Fox is going to be at Christmas Con this year. And then Chad Michael Murray. Oh my gosh. Chad Michael Murray. I go back with him to Cinderella. You remember Cinderella? With what's her name? The blonde girl who had the show, Lizzie. I can't remember her name right now. But anyway, Chad Michael Murray. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about him being there. And then guess who else is coming after his wife has passed away? Brennan Elliott is coming back outside. So it'll be good to see him outside. Mary Lou Henner. Oh my gosh. I love her so much. I pretty much love everything she's ever done. Pretty much. The last thing that I remember seeing her in is Kismet Christmas. And I know she's been in more than that, but that's the last thing that I remember loving her in, right? Was Kismet Christmas, the last Christmas movie I remember. I know she did like all the Aurora Teagarden movies and all of that kind of stuff. She was the mom in that movie, so I watched all of those, of course. But Mary Lou Henner, I remember her in Kismet Christmas. That was the last big thing that I remember her in. And Travis Van Winkle is going to be there. The Hunka Hunka Burn Love. So, he's been in a few Christmas movies. And he has one in either Christmas in July or Countdown to Christmas. I want to say it's Countdown to Christmas. But I'm really excited about that. So, for those of you who are lucky ducks who are going, that's kind of a snapshot of Christmas Con, as they add people to the event. I will keep you posted. All right. Now, this is really new, I think. I think they've only done this like 2 or 3 years, but it's starting to blow up, and it's really blowing up this year. Christmas in a Small Town, which is in Dahlonega, Georgia. So listen, they got a lot of my favorites in this one, and it seems a little more heavy than Christmas Con. But maybe it's just how many people were advertised. Okay, so listen to this lineup at Christmas in a Small Town, Christmas in Dahlonega, Georgia. All right. So first, the girl is Katie Leclerc. Now, to be Katie Leclerc in this one because she is going to be joined by a bunch of boys. Bunch of boys. All right. So first, we got Katie Leclerc. Now, you know I love Katie Leclerc. I loved her in Christmas a la mode, and then recently she's done like a few Hallmark movies. But I really loved her in Christmas a la mode, which was a Lifetime movie. And then, listen, Ryan Pavey. Ryan Pavey, the Lawrence brothers, all of them are going to be there. Yes, the whole crew. Joey, Matthew, like the whole crew. Chad Michael Murray. So I guess Chad is going to, he's going to ho hop from Christmas Con to Christmas in a Small Town. Hey, Chad, you do your thing. You do you, boo. So, all right, Jesse Metcalf, I loved him. So, Country Wedding, I loved him in. And then Christmas Next Door, my absolute favorite. I love him in that movie. Tyler Hines is going to be there. Brendan Furr is going to be there. Do you know Brendan Furr? Do you remember him? He was in A Christmas Kiss. If you haven't seen A Christmas Kiss, you've just not seen a good Christmas movie. This is like one of my favorite movies. I actually have the DVD. I think I have 2 copies of the DVD because I bought it with 2 sets and it came in 2 sets, and so that now I have 2 DVDs. But I love it. I love that movie. I watch it like I have seen it a ridiculous number of times. So Brendan Furr, love him in that. But he's also been in movies, I want to say, like, on Lifetime. Like, he was in one with Tatiana Ali, and he's been in a couple of others. But anyway, so Brendan Furr, love him. And then Rob Mays. Do you remember Rob Mays? And now he was in another Christmas Kiss. So he was in like the follow-up to the Christmas Kiss that didn't have like all of all the stars from the first one. And he was also in the Christmas Editor, which I really liked him in. And then Victor Webster. Is that his name? Victor Webster. Oh my gosh. I love Victor Webster so much. And then David Hayden Jones. Come on, man. They just like robbed all the Hallmark men to be down at A Christmas in a Small Town. I love it. And then Drew Seeley. Okay. Admittedly, I don't know who Drew Seeley is. Even when I saw his face, I like really didn't know who he was. And then Tyler Hilton. I told you, I just watched, thank God, Christmas at Keller Ranch. Well, Tyler Hilton was the hockey star in that movie. Loved him in that. And then Colin Egglesfield. I love Colin. So Colin was in, he was in one of those autumn movies. Autumn Dreams, I think. It was, I think it was Autumn Dreams with Jill Wagner. So he was in that movie, and then I really haven't seen him. I think the last movie I saw him in for Christmas was a Lifetime movie. I think at one time it was an Ion movie, but then Lifetime picked it up, and it was kind of a heist movie. It was like a Christmas mystery. But I can't remember the name of it right now. But Colin Egglesfield. But anyway, he's cute. He's like one of the guys I think kind of look like the young Tom Cruise. Colin, and then the guy who plays with Eloise Mumford. I think those two kind of look very, you know, very like Tom-esque. Anyway, I had a moment. I'm over it. And then last but not least, and you guys are all gonna know this guy, Jesse Hutch. He's been in Lifetime and Hallmark movies, including several of my faves. So anyway, that is Christmas in a Small Town in Dahlonega, Georgia, and I don't have the date handy. So I will find the date and I will tell you what the I will find the date and I will tell you what the date is. All right. And the next piece of news we have Tamara Mowry Housley. So you know how like not all these. So I know like 3 instances of where parents have started bringing their kids into like Hallmark movies and stuff. I know, what's her name? Cameron Bure. She brought her daughter into the Aurora Teagarden series to play the younger Aurora. Bethany Joy Lenz brought her daughter into Hope Valley 1814. Allison Sweeney brought her daughter in on that romance at the ranch thing that she just did. Well, now Tamara is bringing her daughter, and her daughter is so cute. Well, all of them have adorable, beautiful daughters, right? But Tamara's daughter is so cute and spunky. So her daughter, Araya, is going to star in her next Hallmark movie, which I think is going to be a Christmas movie. So it'll be really, 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 really cute. You know who else did? Remember Kathy Lee? And I think she brought her daughter in on one of the movies. And I want to say she like produced the movie, but her daughter starred in it, like Cats and Dogs. Do you remember that? Well, so that's another instance of people bringing in their kids. So, hey, I'm all about the, bringing your kid in and doing it. Hey, if I was in a position to do it, I would do it for my son too. So, I'm really excited for Tamara and to see what her and her daughter cook up. So I just have a couple other pieces of little news, little pieces of news. So the first thing is, you guys know that every year now, pretty much for the entire month of December, for all the weekends in December, Hallmark is now hosting the Hallmark Christmas Experience in Kansas City. So what's disappointing is that they no longer have their little light events all over the place, like the Christmas Enchant events, which I had been going to, that were down here in DC. They had it at Nationals Park, but they had it at, I want to say, probably about 6 or 7 locations around the country. Well, it seems that they have stopped doing the Christmas Enchant events like in so many cities. Like last year, I want to say it was in maybe 1 or 2 cities. And now they just have the Christmas Experience. So I will keep an eye out to see if Enchant comes back out with another location here in the Washington D.C. area, but probably not. And they've probably censored everything in Kansas City. And if, unfortunately for me, like I don't know anybody there. So like if I go there, it's truly like I gotta fly and I gotta get transportation from the airport, and I gotta get a hotel, and I got an Uber and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of just more than I really want to do because, for Christmas, I really just want to be chill and relaxed and, kind of go with the flow and do what I want to do. And I don't want to have to, book a whole trip and, do the whole thing. I don't want to do the whole thing. So I don't know how soon it will be. It's on my list. I want to do it. If it was closer, I would. But yeah, if I gotta go to Kansas City to have, the Hallmark Christmas experience, well, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Let's put it that way. It's certainly not this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. That's just not my season. So, but one thing that would bring me out to see, to visit, the Hallmark Christmas experience is Jonathan Bennett, and he apparently is going to host all 4 weekends in Hallmark Christmas experience. So that's huge. First of all, we know he's like bursting with energy. So just to be there, he's gonna be hyped and he's gonna have everybody. He's like a vibe all on his own. And so yeah. I'm kind of sad that I'm gonna miss that this year, but just know that if you're planning to visit the Hallmark Christmas experience, Jonathan Bennett is going to be your host all 4 weekends. That's exciting news. All right. And here's another piece of exciting news. And her movie is actually on literally right now as I am speaking. Heather Hemmings. I don't know if you guys have watched Texas Two-Step, but oh my goodness, I love that movie so much. Let me tell you something. Brendan Penny, I was like, I didn't know Brendan could look that fine. Brendan looks good. He looks really good. And he and Heather make a great pairing on that movie. And dare I say, I don't know, maybe my eyes were full of gleam when I saw both of them together, because they really do have good chemistry. Like, the chemistry is off the charts. But it looks like they both have rhythm. It's kind of a dancing movie, and it actually looks like they both have rhythm and dance well together. And I'm like, wait, what? Because this does not happen. I'm sorry. Hallmark gets a lot of things right. The dancing is not one of those things usually, but they nailed it on this one. So there's a lot of rhythm in this movie, Texas Two-Step. If you haven't watched it really makes me want to go do Texas line dancing. Now, I have done black line dancing, and anybody who's done line dancing knows it's a little different. The music is different, the moves are different. But the Texas line dancing looks fun. I would love to do that someday. So that's gonna be another bucket list activity that I'll add to my list. But I'm excited for Heather because Heather she's engaged. She's getting married. She's got a rock on her finger. I'm telling you, that rock will blind you. And if you look on her Instagram pages, you will find pictures of her on her Instagram with her hubby, and her hubby is a hunk of burning love. He's probably he might be a little shorter than Brendan Penny, but he kind of reminds me of him. They both got that salt and pepper hotness going on. So, yeah. If you didn't know, she's getting married, and you need to go check out those pictures. So anyway, that is it for Ho 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 holiday headlines. So anyway, this week I'm going to start the show talking about Christmas in July, and then I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to dig into some of the movies coming out in the 2026 Christmas movie season. All right. So for Christmas in July. Okay, so as I said before, Christmas in July starts next Friday. Next Friday at 2 p.m. after the Gilmore Girls. If you know the Hallmark schedule, after the Gilmore Girls, they're going to start with Christmas movies. And I will talk about the Christmas movies, that's the classic stuff, and that's the kind of new stuff from last year and all of that.
That's going to be playing in the first, at least in the first weekend, right? However, Hallmark has 4 new movies coming out in July for Christmas in July. 4 new movies. Now, I have to tell you, I was a skeptic. I was a true skeptic because what happened the last year, they had all of the movies on Hallmark Plus. And basically, they took the Hallmark Plus Christmas movies and they played them during the season. So I was like, during Christmas in July. And so I was like, well, there's no new movies on Hallmark Plus. Well, where are they going to get the movies from? Well, they made them. So they made these movies. And I mean, it's not like, you're like leftover movies. You know what I mean? Like the second rate movies with the characters that they the stars that they introduce. No. These are truly Christmas classic actors who are starring in these movies. And I really hope they're good. Anyway, so the lineup is July 4th, Christmas Under Construction. July 11th, Oh Little Christmas Market. July 18th, Snowbound for the Holidays. And then July 25th, Love Under the Mistletoe. So, let me tell you a little bit about each of these movies that are coming out. All right. So, Christmas Under Construction. That's a Hallmark original coming out July 4th. So that is, our American Independence Day. So that's going to be featured the first weekend. It stars, listen to this, Jessica Lowndes and Daniel Lissing. Now, both of those are kind of, they went to Great American Christmas, and they've now been doing a bunch of stuff with Hallmark again. So I'm glad to see both of them back on the Hallmark Channel. So the plot of the movie is this. Chelsea and her reality TV boyfriend Jake are the stars of a hit home renovation show. While on a live holiday special remodeling a cozy New Hampshire cabin, Chelsea finds herself experiencing growing romantic tension with the cabin's owner, Cooper, while realizing her relationship with Jake has stalled. So, again, January 4th, that's probably come on at 8 o'clock on that Saturday. So, I'm excited to see what happens there. Okay, so that's Christmas Under Construction. So, Oh Little Christmas Market, that comes on January 11th, and that is a miniature artist, so she's not little miniature herself, but she's an artist of miniature art. A miniature artist fights to save the Christmas market founded by her late father and falls for an architect whose company is behind the proposed buyout. So, the big bad developer movies have not gone away apparently, but that's okay because in this one it stars Catherine Burrell and Stephen Huzar. I hope that's right. I don't know. I'm butchering his name the same way every time I say it, so that at least I'm consistent. It's consistently wrong, right? But I'm really excited about that. I love Catherine Burrell. And then Stephen Huzar. I love him too. So to me, this is a great pairing, and a great movie and a great plot. So that's good for Christmas in July. All right, Snowbound for the Holidays, which premieres July 18th. This one stars Vanessa Lengies and Marcus Rosner. It's a holiday romance that develops when an unexpected winter weather strands the main characters together during the Christmas season. So I love the stranded together movies. You box them in. They had a couple of those last year. You kind of box the characters in, and then you just kind of see how they kind of get along through that process. So this will be good. Snowbound for the holidays. And then last but not least is Love Under the Mistletoe. Now, Love Under the Mistletoe, it premieres Saturday, July 25th at 8 p.m. And it follows Grace, a busy interior designer who runs a design business with her best friend and her brother in the picturesque town of Ivy Glen. Because she is constantly focused on work, she's entirely too busy for a relationship until the magic of the holiday changes her plans. Now, this movie stars Jen Lilly and Nick Bateman. So Jen also, who had at one point gone to Great American Christmas, has come back to the Hallmark Channel to do, I think this is probably, I want to say it's probably like her third movie with Hallmark Channel. And since she kind of made her exit to, the Great American Christmas Channel. So, yeah, I'm glad to see her back, and I look forward to this movie, right? I think it's going to be a good one. All right, so day one of Christmas in July. So, of course, next weekend, the June 26th, June 26th, we know we're not going to have a movie premiere. So it's really going to be a lot of classic movies from Hallmark. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's coming up for day one of Christmas in July. So for day one of Christmas in July, like I told you, it starts at 2 p.m. and they start with a Christmas classic. As a matter of fact, the first few movies are truly Christmas classics. Just turn on just turn on the channel and just leave the TV on for the whole day because you're not going to tear yourself away from these. I'm certainly not. First one is A Bride for Christmas with Ariel Kebbel. Remember that? Ariel Kebbel and Andrew Walker. Love them. Then The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites too. It's like they took all my favorites and they stuffed them into this day. All my classic favorites. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year with Brooke Burns, remember, and Warren Christie, Hunk Hunka Burn Love. Yes, we love him. And then A Very Merry Mixup. Oh my gosh, I love that movie so much. With Alicia Witt, I love her. And Mark Weeb, I don't know him as well as I know her. The reason I watched that movie is because of Alicia. I love her. And then at 8 p.m., guess what's coming on? The Christmas Secret with Bethany Joy Lenz and what's his name? Brian Reardon, I think, or something like that. Then, so that's 4 classics in a row, and then we move into last year's premieres. At 10 p.m. is We Met in December. Remember that one with Autumn Reeser and Niall Mater? I think that made my top 10 for last year. And I just did my top 10 in the last... Was it the last episode or the episode before last? Then A Keller Christmas Vacation, also in my top 10, with Jonathan Bennett, Brandon Routh, and Eden Sher. Love them. An Alpine Holiday, also in my top 10 from last year. Ashley Williams and Lacey Maley. Lacey's actually going to be in a movie in Countdown to Christmas. So she's not going to be in Christmas in July, but she'll be in Countdown to Christmas. So 10, 12, and 2 are all movies from my top 10 list. All right. Then we have at 4 a.m., Christmas at the Golden Dragon with Carol Wang, Osric Chow, and Sarah Canning. Christmas and Design is at 6 a.m. And then 8 a.m., another Christmas classic that I love so much. Sean Ferris and Eloise Mumford in Christmas with Holly. That's one of my favorite movies. I mean, serious favorites. I will take a break from the TV at 10 a.m. for If I Only Had Christmas. Absolutely, that's one of my least favorite movies ever on Hallmark. But then I will be back for our holiday story with Nikki DeLoach and Warren Christie at noon. At 2 p.m., now, I wrote down The Christmas Secret, but I don't think they're repeating The Christmas Secret. I don't know, they might. So, The Christmas Secret, Brian Reardon and Bethany Joy Lenz, that's a classic. And then A Royal Christmas with Lacey Chabert, another classic. Love that movie. And then a new classic, which is Christmas by Starlight. I love Paul Campbell, and Kimberly Susted in pretty much anything that they do together. So, Christmas by Starlight, love it. And then look, at 8 p.m. they're going back to Summer Nights. So it is not going to be a Christmas movie. It is going to be a Summer Nights premiere with A Castle of Our Own with Brennan Elliott and Erica Sarah. They're going to follow that up at 10 o'clock with Texas Two-Step, which I just told you about, Brendan Penny and Heather Hemmings. If you have not seen that, watch it today and then watch it every time that it comes on, because I love that movie so much. And then at midnight, and then I'm going to cut off at midnight because really I was only supposed to go till 2. That was like the first 24 hours. But I'm going to midnight, and that is at midnight, She's Making a List with Lacey Chabert and Andrew Walker, which we know are two Hallmark faves, and we love Lacey and we love Andrew. So there you have it. So there is a lot going on for like the first day one of Christmas in July, and I am going to stay tuned and keep you all updated and abreast of all the movies that are coming out. I'm going on Twitter. I'm going to faithfully post my top 3 movies of the day every day. So if you're wondering what we'll be watching, you will be able to see it on Twitter, and I will try to push the Twitter out to Instagram as well. So look for those postings on Twitter and Instagram. All right. So check this out. So in addition to Christmas in July on Hallmark, we are going to have the Summer of Santa's Christmas in July event on Lifetime. So Lifetime's getting in the game this year. And then also you have to remember that you can pretty much go watch any Christmas you want anytime on Netflix. So if you need a little variety, gonna have a little variety. Now Lifetime has not posted their schedule. Of course, they do not have new movie premieres like Hallmark, but they'll probably have like reruns of some of the old favorites. So as that comes up, I think they're not going to start until July. So I think, Hallmark will be on its own the first weekend, and then during that July 4th weekend, we'll probably see some Christmas movies pop up. So, hey, stay tuned to me, stay tuned to the show, stay tuned to my Twitter feed and my Instagram feed, and you're going to see, you will not miss when more movies are available for us to watch, because it's all about having all the Christmas content to watch. Now, one thing I don't know about Christmas in July this year on Hallmark, once upon a time they used to do 24/7 Christmas movies. It was all day on Hallmark. I don't think they really do that anymore. During Christmas in July, I think what they normally do is maybe the time of the first Gilmore Girls, maybe like the 10 o'clock after, the 10 o'clock show, Instead of the Gilmore Girls, it'll be like Christmas movies from like 10 to 10 or something like that, and then they'll go back to the regular schedule for the rest of the day. That's kind of what I'm looking at for this year, 24/7 over the weekend, and then 10 to 10 maybe during the week. We'll see how it all plays out, but I'm keeping an eye on that too, and as soon as I figure out what's going on, I will let you guys know. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be back to talk about the premieres of TV Christmas movies in 2026. And let me tell you something, I think there's a surprise or two. Stay tuned.
Now available on paperback and an ebook, the hilarious romantic comedy The 12 Days of Christmas by USA Today best-selling author K.L. Brady. Both recovering from heartbreak, Gabby and Dave fall for each other after Dave sends a misdirected text message to the wrong woman. It's a comedy of errors when they try to meet face to face. Murphy's Law strikes and they may never see or speak to each other again. However, Gabby thinks Dave may be the one, so she accepts the mission to unite them before Christmas Day. Now she's got 8 days and 12 days to find the man of her dreams. But Dave is hiding something. 3 big things. Even if Gabby finds him, will his secrets keep them apart? Rediscover all the joy and wonder of the Christmas season when you pick up this heartwarming story today. To find out more about the 12 Days of Christmas, visit klbradyauthor.com or pick up your copy at Amazon, Apple, Kobo, or Barnes & Noble today. And now it's time for Chicks on Christmas Flicks.
And welcome back to Chicks on Christmas Flicks. In the previous segment, I talked about Christmas in July. In this segment, I'm going to start discussing movies that will be coming out in the TV Christmas movie season for 2026. So, let me tell you something. This is the best part, right? Because without question, without fail, between October and December, Christmas movies will be playing 24/7 in this house, right? As for me and my house, we do Christmas movies. And so Christmas movies will be playing. All right. So I don't have a whole like litany of movies that I'm going to go through for this show, but trust me, they will be coming out for upcoming shows. So the first one I'm going to talk about, because this was actually the first one and I think I actually tweeted the movie poster out for this one. Holiday Ever After, a Disney World Wish Come True, with Lacey Chabert and Travis Van Winkle. I told you Travis was going to be in an upcoming Countdown to Christmas movie. Well, this is it. He is going to be starring with Lacey Chabert. The plot of the movie is, during a family trip to Walt Disney World, Lindsay, it's probably Lacey's character, unexpectedly reconnects with a former failed date. As they repeatedly cross paths, romance blooms with a little Disney magic. This is Hallmark's first collaboration with Disney Parks. Now, listen, I have to talk about this for a minute, because of all the brands in all the world that I would have expected to be like regulars in each other's worlds, it's a Hallmark and Disney, right? I mean, has Hallmark not had its share of princesses and princes over the last however many years? And doesn't Disney do princesses and princes like nobody else does? Princesses and princess. And I've been to Disney parks. Well, I haven't been to the one in California, but I've been to the ones in Florida multiple times. So even back from when I was a kid, my mom used to take us to used to take me to Florida. I grew up as an only child. So yeah, I mean, I do have a brother, but we found each other later in life. That's a long story. I won't get into it right now. But anyway, so I like this is like a dream waiting to happen. Right? I can't imagine the fact that this is Hallmark's first collaboration with Disney Parks. It seems unbelievable. But who else to like bring this to life than Lacey Chabert? If anybody did this movie on the Hallmark Channel, I would expect it to be Lacey. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. So that's the first movie from 2026 coming out. When's it gonna premiere? I don't know. They don't have the schedule out yet. You guys know that. It won't come out till sometime in September, and then I'll talk about it then. But we know it's coming out, and so that's that. So for the second movie I want to talk about is In a Holidays. In a Holidays is a Netflix original Christmas romantic comedy, based on a best-selling novel. So the first thing I got to do is go buy the book and read the book. So that's bought, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna buy it as soon as I get off here from doing the show. The holiday themed movies follows a directionless 20-something who gets trapped in a time loop, reliving the same Christmas at her family's cabin until she discovers what makes her truly happen. Sounds a whole lot like Groundhog Day. So, as I say this, I'm like reading down. It's funny as I say this. This is what the premise says. Premise: a Love Actually meets Groundhog Day story. So first of all, I love Love Actually. I don't know if you guys have seen Love Actually, but that's like one of my favorite. You know, the one where he flips the cards in front of the girl's house. Yes. Okay. So Love Actually, I love. And Groundhog Day, I love. So put those together, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love this movie. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting. All right, and then the number 2 movie is The Christmas Loop. The Christmas Loop. This is an upcoming 2026 Hallmark original movie premiering during Christmas, the Countdown to Christmas programming. And this stars Tyler Hynes and Lacey Maley. So I told you she was coming up in Countdown to Christmas, and she's with Tyler Hynes, one of our Hallmark favorites, right? So the plot. The story follows a man who makes a wish and becomes magically trapped reliving Christmas Eve. He initially uses the time loop to his advantage, but everything changes when he falls for a woman and desperately wishes for a real tomorrow. That has Groundhog Day all over it, except it's not Groundhog Day, it's Christmas. So I'm really excited about this. And guess who? Guess who is directing? Guess who? Guess. Just guess. It is Lucy Guest. Lucy Guest. Yes, that Lucy. Lucy, who's like the best friend in all the Hallmark movies, Lucy. Yes, she is directing this movie. And she's directed a few movies as of, I don't know, the past 2 years that I know of. Anyway, maybe she was producing and directing before that, but that's what I caught on. So I'm really excited to see this project come to life. So, and then some of the cast on this one, to me, I'm kind of really excited about it. You know who's in this also is Gil Bellows. I don't know do you remember Gil Bellows? So he was in Trading Christmas, but before that, he was in Ally McBeal. I own the series, the whole series. I bought the whole box set because I love that series so much. And Gil Bellows is not, I will not give that away to people who did not watch the series. But if you have not watched that series, you really need to, because that was like groundbreaking, amazeballs. I love that. It was like one of my favorites, all-time favorites. Not even just that time frame favorite, like all-time favorites, which is why I own it. Anyway, so Gil Bellows is in that, and then a few other people. Patton Oswalt, I love him. Andrea Anders, Gil Bellows, Jackie Sandler, Luke Rosler, and Meredith Salinger. So there's a few people that I know out of that one, but the one that I really focus on is just Gil Bellows, because it's been a while since I've seen him. I haven't seen him anything since he did Trading Christmas with Faith Ford. So I'm excited about that. Speaking of Trading Christmas, we have All That Glitters Christmas with Greer Grammer. So now you know Kelsey Grammer has a daughter named Greer. They did a Lifetime movie maybe like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It wasn't last year. I think it was 2 years ago. And also in this movie is Tom Cavanaugh. I love Tom Cavanaugh. I can't even tell you how much I love Tom Cavanaugh. So I have loved him since he was in Ed. And then he's done a few of the Hallmark mystery movies. I can't even remember the name of the series that he's in on that. But he's in like a mystery series there where he plays like a prosecutor, and Kimberly Williams plays the defender, and she's like really good. And then they've kind of fallen in like and close to falling in love. I don't know. But anyway, so I love Tom Cavanaugh. Long story short. So I'm really looking forward to All That Glitters. So here's the premise. As magical and beautiful as we wish Christmas to be, the realities of life still exist between the moments of holiday celebrations. With All That Glitters at Christmas, the audience can expect a wonderful Christmas rom-com seasoned with a beautiful cast, entertaining comedic characters, and a storyline with deep intentional meaning. And once watched, they'll want to move to the charming town of Forest Glen. The film follows a stressed Wall Street widower who trades stocks for sermons when he takes over a struggling small town church, racing to be ready for Christmas. His only hope lies with the town's talented craft store owner who hasn't stepped inside a church since being left at the altar. As the two attempt to pull off a holiday miracle, they find themselves navigating a heartfelt and often hilarious journey of healing, faith, and unexpected romance. So I will be looking, because of Tom Cavanaugh, and only because of Tom Cavanaugh, I will be looking for All That Glitters at Christmas. In the 2026 season, we'll see where it lands. And then the last but not least on my list for today is another movie I know we're all going to be really excited about. I'm so happy about this one. A Biltmore Christmas. There is going to be a sequel. Of course, the sequel will not have Christopher Palaha or Bethany Joy Lenz, but it's going to be a sequel nonetheless. All in that same universe, except for it's going to star Holland Roden and Niall Mater. The sequel will tell a love story following acquaintances in the Gilded Age who become more than that in the present day. So we're going to have some time travel. I'm excited about that. So I'm really psyched for this movie. I am sure that this is one of those ones. I feel like this is one of their one of their Thanksgiving releases, right? Like you gotta kind of release the Biltmore sequel when everybody's home and stuff with turkey. Like, it's that kind of movie, right? Everybody's going to be excited and waiting for it. So I'm really excited to see what that's coming. Now, the last piece of news for our Christmas Day broadcast is NFL. NFL's bringing it back another year on Netflix, right? So on Netflix, Christmas Day, we are going to see the Packers at the Bears. If you're an NFL fan, like, I'm a huge NFL fan. Last year they had Washington versus, I want to say Dallas. Washington versus Dallas, which is like normally like a huge game, but then Jaden Daniels was injured, and so it wasn't like a huge game for us. But I am praying for better for all of the players that I support for this year. So, but unfortunately, none of them play for the Packers and the Bears, or the Bills at the Broncos. But I will be highly interested in what happens in those movies. But yeah, I don't have dogs in those fights. So anyway, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. So anyway, that is gonna do it for today. Please stay tuned for more news coming. I'm waiting on the big list of combined movies with all the schedules and all of that. And when that comes out, I will definitely be releasing a special episode. I will be doing shows for every weekend of Christmas in July, so stay tuned. I'm just gearing up, getting back into the flow of things. I'm really just excited to be back doing the show. Thank you to my music show editor, Will B. He created all the custom music for this show. He's at Wildcard Music, and you find his IG page in the show notes below. Until next time, remember, at Chicks on Christmas Flicks, we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review on your favorite platform, and tell your Christmas movie loving friends about this show. Where can you find us? We so happy you asked. Podcast platforms: Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and many, many more. You can find a link in the show notes. Please follow the show on Twitter and IG at Chicks Christmas Flicks. And thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.